right? Always nice. Okay. Namaste, everyone. Glad you're here. It's a little chilly. No? Okay. Got that. All right. I won't touch it. Thank you. If you get chilly at some point, I can change the temperature. You're right, though. Once we get moving, we'll get a little bit more heated. Although I'm not planning on getting too heated with you guys. I don't know if you saw my post. I did plan a completely different practice for blissful and gentle today. Usually they're similar. Gentle's usually just dialed down from blissful. But I just felt like, I don't know, I was just feeling drawn to do a moon salutation with you guys. In the last class, we did core work, we did sun salutations, we did a lot of lion's breath, we did quite a few lion poses, even with lotus, and we did a whole lotus series at the end, which is the one where the feet are up on the lap. So that's not gentle, right? So that's why I decided to do something completely different. So, but what I do want to focus our subject matter around today was the fact that yesterday was August 8th. And every year, August 8th is considered a lion's gate. It's a lion's gate with astrology and numerology. So all the, well, not all the numbers, but the basic numbers mean something. There's a lot of symbology to it. I grew up a preacher's daughter in the South, and a very dogmatic, very conservative religion. And even in that religion, my father used to often preach about the symbology of numbers. Because even in, biblical terms, the number 7 shows up a lot, the number 12 shows up a lot. And it wasn't until I got more into the mystic side of things, more into spirituality versus religion, I discovered numerology. And I've even had good discussions with my dad about that before he had a stroke. So the number 8, since August is the 8th month, and August 8th is considered the lion's gate, it's considered an energetic portal. So think of the number 8 as being like the sign of infinity. Okay, when you turn it on its side. And the number 8, as above, so below. And the number 8 is also about prosperity and abundance. So this energetic portal is a time where we can sit and meditate and consider what it is that we're trying to bring more abundance to in our life. What are we trying to manifest? Now this one in 2021 was even more potent because it lined up with the new moon Leo. Leo is also represented by the lion. So it's said to be even more powerful for what we've been going through and where we're headed. So this portal is supposed to be giving us all these divine light codes that are being downloaded to us. And I don't know about you, but yesterday, I don't know what I was expecting yesterday, but I went and taught a class yesterday morning, and it seemed like the day just lasted forever. It felt like we were in a little bit of time warp yesterday. Even the other members of my family were discussing it. And at some point yesterday, I decided to go sit outside and meditate on the deck. You guys, I go out on that deck daily. At some point, midpoint of the day, and then again in the evenings. Every day when I go out there, you hear nature, you hear birds, you hear insects, you know, things buzzing around your ear. Literally yesterday, I sat out there for an hour. I didn't hear one sound from nature. There were no birds singing. There was no insects going. It was pretty wild. I was a little shocked by it. I was like, took me like 20 minutes to figure it out. To begin with, I'm like, it's so quiet. It's so quiet. Why is it so quiet? You know? But anyway, the energies rolling in started the 28th of July. The peak of it was yesterday, but they're continuing until the 12th. So it's a good time to do yoga, a good time to meditate, good time to journal, a good time to do little rituals, thinking about what you want to release, what you want to let go of, because this is a time where things are collapsing. There is going to be more collapse through the end of the year, but there's things going to be falling away. That may be happening personally. It also may be happening globally. So consider while you're doing your practice today, what it is that you want to release, where it is that you're stuck or stagnant, how it is that you want to move forward, what do you want to take forward, and what it is that you're wanting to create and manifest. Because this is an important time to be, contemplative about all that. So let's start, let's actually start on our backs. We'll take the bolster underneath the thighs, land the feet on the other side, and let the knees fan apart to supine bound ankle or butterfly. If you only have blocks, you can place the blocks underneath the knees. And there's different formations you can do with your arms. Some people like to lace the hands underneath the head. Some people prefer the goddess arms. Arms out like a T in an A-frame beside your body. And some prefer resting the hands on the stomach. So I'll let you discern what is best for you in the now. And it may take a little exploration to discover where your shoulders want to be. I would suggest if you have been swimming around in your head, if you're needing to get grounded, if you need to drop more into your body, more into your heart space, maybe placing the hands on your body. Since we're discussing the lion's gait today, I want to mention a couple ways that a lion shows up in Indian mythology, since this practice is rooted in that culture. If you ever learn about Durga, Durga was the goddess of strength, and she was also the goddess of war. And sometimes she's depicted carrying all of her weapons and riding into battle, sitting on a lion. There is also a character named Narasimha, who was an avatar of Vishnu, the preserver, who's depicted as half man and half lion. And he is said to destroy evil. And helps to protect against religious persecution. Now, coming back to the lion's gate and the new moon represents fresh starts and new beginnings. I want you to set your intention to use this practice to open up your mind to new potentials and new possibilities. There are more changes that are coming. In fact, my numerologist says, ready or not, change is coming. And then also set your intention to open your heart to more strength and more courage. Set your intention to keep your vibrations high and to intentionally hope and dream and to ask for what it is that you need. Uranus is squaring the sun and the moon in Leo, adding in a strong potential for breakthroughs and for things to be released. So maybe consider where you've been resisting change, where you have felt stuck, so that once it's released, you're opening up space for something new to come in. Now let's take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. And when you're breathing in this diaphragmatic way, feel how your belly swells and balloons on the in-breath and retracts on the out-breath. Purposely pulling in more breath, more oxygen to feed your system. And then allowing it to release. Giving yourself the opportunity to relax and center. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in new, fresh energy and light codes. Breathing out any stuck or stagnant energy away. Breathing in new hopes and dreams for yourself, humanity, and the world at large. Breathing out any stress, tension, or fear that resists that change. Slowly begin to uplift your knees. Stack your feet on top of the bolster. Hug your left knee in a moment. Just that one singular side is fine. When you're ready, release that leg and then take a hold of your right. Gently hug it in. We're doing this as a little bit of a counter stretch because when we externally rotate the hips open like you were just doing, it creates more of an exaggerated sway in the low back. And this will help to lengthen it back out. Good, and release. Let's go ahead and roll over to the left side of the body, the left being the lunar side. We are going to be doing a moon salutation today. So push down into that right hand and then slowly begin to draw yourself to sit. Before we get into that moon salutation, I want us to do a lion's pose and breath. So if you can't have a lot of flexion in your knees, for instance, you might be able to sit on a bolster or a block instead of your heels. If that still doesn't work well for you, and I know it might not since this is gentle, then just be here in a seated posture, or you can land in tabletop position. Okay, either way. I'm going to come back to this version that I previously mentioned, sitting on the heels and splaying the legs. I know there's one lion's pose where the legs are together like this, but this is the one we're going to do. We're going to lean forward and set our weight into our hands, but we're going to spin the fingers to face our bodies. And so when I was doing this pose yesterday in a class, Rob came and I noticed he couldn't get his wrist down or extend his fingers out because he's a guitar player, plays guitar hours and hours a day. So you may be arthritic in your hands. You may be tight in your mouse hands. And if you have a tendency or a vocation where you use your hands a lot, you may not be able to do this fully. That's okay. Just do your best. All right, we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And as we exhale, we expel the tongue. And gaze up. Do that twice more. Last one. That breath is said to be therapeutic for singers, good for the tonsils, throat, the lungs, and it's supposed to help with bad breath. So if you're ever running to a meeting and you're having your coffee in the car, do some lion's breath. Gently peel your hands away from the ground. We're going to transfer to hands and knees. So draw the knees up underneath the hips. Let your hands reside up underneath your shoulders. And we're going to do cat-cow a little differently, adding in lion's breath to honor the lion's gait. So it looks like this. We're going to inhale to cat stretch, piercing the navel in, arcing up high through the shoulder blades. And as we exhale, the belly sinks, the head lifts, expelling the tongue, breathing out through the mouth. Continue. Inhale, cat. Exhale, lion's breath and cow. 3 more. Last one. Slowly come into child's pose, and you're welcome to grab a bolster if you need support. So sometimes that support is needed underneath the head, sometimes that supported is needed between the thighs and the calves. Sometimes it's nice to have the legs splayed and rest your belly and chest on top. Giving the wrist a break. Kind of cocooning yourself here. Affirming mentally as you hold. I release and relax now from all outer involvements and dive into my inner haven of peace. Now I'll go ahead and say this particular time frame that we're receiving all this new energy, it's really here to help to activate 3 of our chakras. The first one being the core, the solar plexus, the indwelling place of the sun, the place that builds confidence, where we have an inner reservoir of strength and resilience. The second is the heart chakra, the place where we have the infinite well of unconditional love and compassion, the place where we draw up courage. And the third chakra being activated right now is the third eye, the place where you're resting here on your brow, the place that gives us a higher perspective, a clearer perception of things, what helps us to break through the veils where we can receive insight. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and stretch the arms forward and out. We'll rock up to hands and knees, move any props to the side, curl your toes, and launch into downward facing dog. Now, when you come into downward facing dog, solidify your hands, cement them firmly into the floor, especially pressing into the fleshy part of the hand below the root of the fingers. Shine up through your seat. Slide up towards the sacrum. That's where we want the energy to be pulled towards. So this pose is all about ascension. You're doing the same thing with your feet. You're rooting down through your feet. The heels will actually elevate. It will take the crease or the wrinkles out of the front side of the ankles. It'll activate your knees and quads. It'll sail the hips up even higher. We're trying to bring the ascension of energy up into the pinnacle of the pose. And that's why these new energies are coming down to help us with our own ascension here on earth. Walk your feet forward towards the top of the mat. When you come forward towards Uttanasana, we're not going to be so structured right now. In fact, have your hands on blocks set in front of your toes. Or if your hands touch down, you can just rest on
the fingertips. We're gonna walk it out here. You know, sometimes we walk out the legs in downward facing dog, but we're doing it here in Uttanasana today. Bending one knee, straightening the other, and just moving back and forth between the two. Now straighten both legs, power down through the feet. Fold your body in half, release your neck. Affirming here as you hold nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I choose to ascend. On your next in-breath, root down through the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Now keep pushing down through the feet because we tend to forget that when we lift the arms. And what you're going to do when you lift the arms up is you're going to connect the hands together to this temple or Jupiter mudra. So two of the bright stars that you'll see in the evening at night right now is Jupiter and Saturn. Press down through the feet, lift up through the knees, lift up through the navel, hug the arms close to your head, exhale, curve to your right. And when you're curving to the right side, it's not so much about the flexion you're getting in your side body, so lift and lean at the same time. Breathe openly into your left lung. Cut through some of that tension that creates a shallow breath. Let it be washed away. Affirming here in Chandrasana, strength and courage fill up my body cells. The strength and the courage to get us through this time of chaos and change. Inhale, rise up to the top. You're actually going to step to your left, and you're going to open up into, so you're facing that direction. Sharon is now in the lead.
That's not
Just what she wants to do.
That's what I wanted to do.
Bend the knees to Kali Goddess, and you're widening your thighs. Your arms are up in the goddess formation. We're going to do a lion's breath. Take a deep breath in. Breathe it out. Sharon, I know you can't see me, but you're front row. Bring your hands down to the ground. Rest on your fingertips. Good. Elevate your heels off the floor. And if that's simply too much for you, you don't have to lift the heels. It creates a challenge. Maybe you don't want that challenge today, and that's all right. Exhale, land your heels if they were lifted, and we're going to spin to the right. The right arm is going to wrap behind the back, and the left hand's going to cross over to the right knee. Good. Instead of whipping your head around, you're actually trying to extend your spine towards that wall that you were just facing. So Kate, send your crown towards the exit door. Good, now wind it around to the other side. Left arm goes behind the back, right hand to the left knee, extend the spine nice and long, tailbone back, crown of the head forward, and you can turn your neck in any direction to find your own drishti. All right, on your next in-breath, we're coming up to stand. Look down at your feet, make them more parallel with each other. And then rotate your right foot 90 degrees towards the top end of your mat. Extend your arms out shoulder height. Lengthen your torso out over the right leg, keeping that right foot planted down. And then draw it back up. Good, take it again, reaching out and over the front leg. Right leg stays straight. And draw it back. Head over heart. Good, one more. Lengthen forward and out. Windmill the hand down to the shin. Left arm reaches skyward, triangle pose. Now I want you to consider how you can revolve open a little bit more into the twist. So see if you can churn through your abdomen. See if you can churn a little bit more through your chest. Exhale, bring the left hand down towards the right leg. Gaze down. Inhale, slowly fan it back up. Triangle. Take your time with this. It requires some balance. Sweep the left hand down. Inhale, open back up. Last one. Sweep it down. Open it back up. Triangle. Imagine those light codes are flooding down to you right now. From this arm that's acting like an antenna, and bring it down into your heart space. Now look down towards your right foot. Lunge that knee, bring the hands down beside it, and spin away from your back heel. Yes, this is the time. If you need blocks, you can set them alongside your front foot. From here in the lunge, we'll start out with the knee aligned over the ankle. And then we'll slowly straighten out the front leg, but notice where your left hip is in the equation. We want the left hip to roll in the direction of the blocks of the front foot, to square and even them out. All right, when you're ready, lunge the knee. Good, inhale, straighten out the leg. Tee off the hips. One more, lunge the knee. Good, straighten the leg, and you can either radiate the heart forward and out, or you have the option to drape down. The standing form of split. Affirming here as you hold, I give myself over into the flow of grace. Lunge that right knee. Set your back knee gently to the floor. So we're obviously not doing the full move citation, changing it up a little bit. Heel toe the right foot over to the edge. And I'm not going to use blocks for this one. You can determine if you want blocks or not, but you can also set your hands straight down below the shoulders. So with your right foot to the edge of the mat, we're going to fan the knee away from the body, right? Kind of like a yin pose, except we're not doing yin. We're going to draw it right back into the arm as we breathe out. We're going to do that 7 more times. Inhale, the knee wings away from the body. Exhale, flatten the foot and draw it back to the arm. Good, that was 2. Use your personal breath to synchronize the movement along with it until you arrive to 8. Once you've completed 8, heel toe that right foot back towards the center of the mat. You can reset your hands to blocks. You can curl the back toes under, pluck up that back knee. Now turn and plant your back foot. Bring your blocks with you over to the left, turning to face Sharon again. Your right foot will turn to the corner of your mat. You're lunging the right knee into a pose called Skandasana. That's it. Good, now crouching tiger, walk it over to the left, lunge the left knee, Skandasana. Back to the right. Just kind of surfing back and forth on the mat. Over to the left. Good, now bring the blocks to the center. Turn your feet to be parallel. And start to fold into Prasarita Padottanasana. So inversions have a way of calming and cooling the mind and nervous system. Forward folds are also about release and letting go. Maybe emphasize your exhalations here. On your next in breath, walk your hands forward or slide your blocks ahead. Extend long through the spine. Lift your head halfway up to even out that blood flow so you don't get lightheaded or dizzy. If you're ever going through any time frame where you're experiencing vertigo, I wouldn't suggest folding all the way down like we just did. Being here would be plenty. It would be enough. All right. So we're going to slowly bring the hands to the hips. Rise all the way back up. Turn your right foot to face the top of the mat. You may want to bring your blocks with you. Step the foot to the front. And once that foot comes to join the other, landing line from your hips down through your heels. Circle the arms up alongside your face. Relace the hands to that same mudra and curve to your left. So it's possible to get a whole lot of flexion here, but if you try to go too deep, you really lose sight of your breath. So stay mindful and aware that your breath is still open and free. And then affirm internally, strength and courage, fill up my body cells. Inhale, let's rise up to the top. Exhale, this time we step off to the right. Now you're facing Mandy. She gets to be our fierce leader. Roll the thighs away from your center. Drop the hips. Bring your arms up to Kaligata. So let's do a lion's breath. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth, expel the tongue. Bring the hands down. Rest on the fingertips. Not a lot of weight in your hands though. Let the hands have a feathery touch. The weight is in the feet. If you want a challenge, you can lift your heels, but remember that's a choice. You always have choices. Never take on any pressure. There's so much peer pressure in the world right now. Don't be influenced. You have the right to be you. Do you. Let other people do them. Sink your heels down. Lift your hands up and spin to your right. Right arm crosses behind your back. Left hand's going to cross over to the right. Good. Spin to the other side. Good. Come back to center. Straighten out your legs. Look down at your feet. Make the feet the same. Pointed towards the front door. Now we'll move toward triangle. Left foot's going to rotate towards the top of your mat. Arms are going to reach out shoulder height. Lengthen out over the front leg. And then pull it right back up. Good. Stretch out over it. Keep that front leg straight. Draw it back, aligning the vertebrae. One more. This time you can windmill down to triangle. And then we're going to fan the arm up and down. We'll take a deep breath in, energize the top hand. Exhale, sweep the right hand down towards the left leg. Inhale, feel that twist as you open back up, because we often don't think about triangle having a twisting element. Bring the arm down. Carry it back up. One more. Hold it at the top. Affirming mentally within, energy and joy flood down to me. Look down at your left foot. Lunge that knee, spin away from your back heel. Come into this lower lunge. Absolutely, this is a good time to bring blocks in. They can turn at different heights. Get that shin perpendicular to the floor, get your back thigh puffing up towards the sky. And then from here, straighten out the front leg. Notice that right hip may be turned open a little bit. So roll the right hip towards your left foot. Feel the difference. Now let's lunge the knee. And then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, lunge the knee. Good, inhale, straighten it out. This time we're gonna hold it. So you can either shine your heart forward, looking out with the eyes, or you can drop in, bowing out over the front leg. Yogi's choice. And breathe. Give myself over to the flow of grace. Lunge that knee, sink the back knee, untuck the back toes, heel toe that left foot over. Personally, I'm gonna lose the blocks. You're welcome to use them though. Hands can flatten down or you can reside on fists. And then we're gonna go into winged dragon as we breathe in. And then we're gonna close it back towards us as we breathe out. And then continue that repetition. We're doing 8 of these today. I know some of you were just getting distracted by those people coming out of Grab a Green, but while it's fresh on my mind, they are offering $5 smoothies to anyone that comes to class. You can get it, you can order it before, they'll have it available for you afterwards, or you can run over there later. It's a nice little perk, being their neighbor. Good, when you draw it back in, we'll heel toe the foot over. They want those blocks again, we're gonna be doing that Skandasana, curl the back toes, pluck up the back knee. Plant the back foot, turn your left toes towards the corner of the mat, bring the blocks along with you to turn to the side wall. And then when you're ready, surf it down to the right knee, down to the back side of your mat. And then when you're ready, back and forth again. Find the pace that works well for your body. Honoring the sensation. And eventually turning around to face the front. When you turn around to face the front, we're gonna lose the blocks now. Stepping into plank position. Coming down to the knees. And we're gonna fold back into child's pose. Taking a moment to drop back in. I want you to consider for a moment the question, where are you currently feeling stuck or stagnant? Perhaps it's in communication with your partner. Maybe it's feeling a direction with your career. Perhaps you're just in a personal funk. Where are you stuck or stuck? And then being in the second question, what do I need to release? And maybe what you're needing to release pertains to the first question. Maybe it's separate and apart from. And then the third question I'm going to have you pose to yourself is, what do I want to create or manifest for myself, for my life, for my family, for the world? Picture it as you think about it. Imagine feeling as if it were already true. Inhale, we're going to rock up to hands and knees. We're going to come back to the lion's breath and cat-cows. As you inhale, create cat. Exhale, cow with lion's breath. You don't have to wait for anyone else. Find your pace with your breath. Last one. All right, we're gonna come down to a seat and we're gonna stretch the legs out in front of us. Bring it back down. Bend your right knee and turn open from the hip. I know one of yours is your left side. Okay. We'll do something different over there. Okay. As you inhale, flex your left foot. Lift your arms alongside your face. And exhale, fold into Shavasana. When you fold into Shavasana, pull the navel in and then spin it over towards the top of the thigh, adding a little bit more of a twisting element through the belly. So over the, I think it was over the pandemic, I don't know, sometime last couple of years, it's all blurred now. I've been having to see a chiropractor. And the x-ray showed that my neck has lost its curve. So I was in the habit of always looking down in this pose. Traditionally, we look out. And the reason why I got in the habit of doing that is because in the pictures that I would see, it looked like I had too much of a curve in my neck. So sometimes what we're seeing on the outside is just an illusion. Right? Then you get the x-ray of what's happening inside and it's something completely different. So if you happen to know the condition of your neck, if you've been losing your C curve, I would gaze out towards the toes. If you know you're the opposite, I would lengthen the neck and gaze down towards the leg. And you may not know, so just pick one. And then affirm mentally within, left and right and all around, life's harmonies are mine. Inhale slowly, bring it up. We're gonna lift the right knee now. And I'm gonna turn, well, now I'll show you from this direction. So if we take the arm and wrap it, do you see how I shrunk in my left side body? Everyone does that. So that's why once you take a hold of the knee, really reinvest in the lengthening of your back. Then take the right hand behind you and continue to spin to the right. Push out through your left heel, drop down through your left thigh. Most importantly, breathe. If things in your peripheral vision are distracting you, close your eyes. Exhale and left. Slide your right leg out. Bring your left knee in and then turn it from the hip. And so you can actually just forward fold with both legs straight. All right, inhale, lift the arms skyward. Activate that right foot to activate the whole leg. And then exhale, come down. Spin that navel over towards your thigh. Find a comfortable position for your neck. Concentrate on your breath. And then plant this positive seed of thought. Left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Back away. Take your hand under your knee. You can help to lift it up. Your right arm will catch a hold of it. But then notice how we slump on that side. So reinvest in the length of your side waist of your full vertebrae. Left hand stacks behind you. And twist. We're gonna slide forward. Well, you may not have to slide forward. I needed to slide forward in order to lay down on the mat. Now the feet are gonna fan wide. And the arms are going to fan wide overhead. So it's like you're creating an X shape with your body. This is sometimes the pose we take for Shavasana at the end of yin, called pentacle pose. Feel how you're creating a shape almost like a star. Remember, I mentioned the energies are activating the third, fourth, and sixth chakras. So on your next in-breath, you're gonna lift your left leg and your right arm up. Maybe even to possibly meet. Don't worry if they don't touch. And exhale, recline. Inhale, right leg, left arm lifts. Exhale, release. And you're just moving side to side with alternate limbs. Mindful execution, so you're using your hips and your shoulders. Lower abdominals. If you want to amp it up, you can lift your head and cross over your midline towards the leg that's afloat. That's if you want more abdominal strength building. You do not have to implement that. 2 more to each side. When you've completed that, you can return to where we started. Laid out in peaceful pose. Slide your feet towards you now. Bring the arms beside your body, palms face down. Press into the hands and feet, tuck the tailbone, lift thighs, hips, abdomen, chest. So when you are applying the pressure down to the feet, it charges the hamstrings and a portion of the glutes. We do want the buttocks to be engaged here. We want to push down to the mounds of the big toes, so the knees stay narrow. We want to make sure we're doing our belly breathing. From bridge pose, you can roll it down to the sacrum. Once you land to your low back, your in-breath is going to elevate your arms straight up towards the ceiling panel above your face. As you exhale, the arms are going to push down alongside your ribs. You're going to tuck the shoulders under the body to elevate the breastbone. This is a modified fish. It gives us a little opening in the throat. It does create a back bend, but in a more gentle way. Keep pushing down through the arms to keep the chest open, to keep the breath flowing. And then you can release that. All right, we are ready for our relaxation. However, in Shavasana today, I would like to guide you in a meditation. If you want to set up Stonehenge, for instance, since you've got 2 blocks in a bolster, that's always nice. Because then, once you set that up, you can elevate your legs. You don't have to do that, it's just a suggestion. You got it. Now, it's time for your body to take rest. Just feel the contact of the earth beneath your body. Ask your body to let go and scan through your body. See if, when, or where there's resistance. If you find any tension, try to soften the areas around it. Sometimes we have those hidden pockets of tension, gripping in the belly or low back. Sometimes we experience that heaviness in the chest or grip in our jaw, teeth, or tongue. Even a furrowing of the brow. I want you to set your inner gaze
towards the third eye, the midpoint of your forehead. As if you were looking off into the distance towards the horizon. Imagine you're gazing towards the sun. Set that bright light in your brow and imagine that the sun rays penetrating through this region, moving through the center of your head towards the pineal gland. This gland has been known to shrink and calcify with fluoride, things in our water and food, and just simply through the aging process. They've discovered that it can actually expand with meditation. So imagine the pineal gland is growing. What gives us a connection to the spiritual realm. It helps us to break through the veils of illusion. To see and know the truth. To experience a deeper sense of compassion. And a higher intuitive knowing. And then imagine the light. It's reflecting off the pineal gland, shining down through the column of the spine. We're going to come back to these three energy centers that are being activated. Beginning behind the navel. Picture a golden light spinning clockwise. Promoting more confidence, personal power. Embracing your inner lion or lioness. Bringing it up now to the heart center, just behind the breastbone. Imagine a green disc of light spinning clockwise. It's purifying the heart. Opening it up to receive more love. And imagine a blue spinning disc of light behind your brow. Purifying the all-seeing eye. Imagine around your body is an orb of light shaped like a diamond. Iridescent diamond reflecting little prisms of colorful rays like the rainbow. Let this orb of light be a shield of protection. protecting you from outer influences, so that you can embrace and express your own personal freedom and power. Sound of mindfulness now. Just replaying your breath. And your connection to it, your control over it. Gently begin to exit the pose that you had chosen. Taking your time, but coming up for a formal seat.
Just remember, meditation helps us to not only to connect back to our higher self, it allows us to connect back to source energy. That divine intelligence behind creation that gives life to us, to other things. Through our meditations, we can peel back the layers to find our true authentic self. By going within, we can remember our gifts, our talents, what we can offer to others. And it also allows us to remember our dharma, our purpose. And that's open to change as well. So be ready to embrace the changes that come our way with love, not fear. Draw your hands together, prayer position at your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thanks, friends, for joining me today.